I'm Scottish. He was Scottish, and tonight we're drinking Scottish beers.
Okay, can I be Scottish too? Maybe just for tonight. I hate to miss out on a party.
For the 5th time, no.
It's the 4th, and thank you.
Welcome back to the Lager Logs.
Yeah, you're exhausted now. Are you tired after that? I would be.
Yeah, I was all right.
It was. You keep telling yourself that. No, it was great. I'm still just trying to figure out whether it's chocolate or whether it's bronze. If you could maybe let us know sometime before the episode ends, that would be great. Because I think me and the viewers are both kind of just in suspense, waiting for the reveal.
It's not cake, I'm afraid.
Oh, you're kidding me.
But
we have a slice later.
But we do have a different type of sweet treat to have tonight.
Ooh, that was good.
Scottish delicacies of Iron Brew and modern sour beer has reared its ugly head not once, not twice, but mother loving 3 times. How now, brown cow, indeed.
Wowza. This is going to be a triple header to end all triple headers, I think, man. So we've done the standard version before, right?
The OG Iron Brew sour beer. We've had
Facebook tells us it was 2 years ago today.
Exactly. But
good old Facebook.
They're pals. They've got the fiery ginger.
Okay. We all know a couple of them.
And we've got the Iron Brew float.
Come on.
A classic Scottish dessert from my youth.
What, a floater?
Do you know what floats are?
You used to go swimming a lot as a kid.
Yeah, that. And it is a dollop of ice cream in your juice.
Okay, yeah, I am aware of the float.
Yeah, like the Coke float. And
yes.
Obviously, it's Scotland, so it's Iron Brew.
Okay. I can't say I've ever had one myself, but I'm kind of open to the idea. Doesn't exactly sound very beery to me, but
no.
You know, I had a big dinner, so I'm ready for dessert.
Perfect. Where do we start? Because we've got fiery ginger, we've got the sweet flow, and then you've got the original, the baseline Iron Brew.
I think we should crack that first and have that as our baseline, and maybe not demolish it straight away. Kind of have it in the background so we can compare, taste, test. I think that's what a good beer review channel would do. So actually, let's do the complete opposite. Let's just down it. It is Burns night after all. But every night's Burns night in this household. Open the sucker.
Just spray it all over me.
Ooh. Backsplash.
That smell.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
This is possibly like my 4th or maybe 5th time having this beer. Like and its other variations. So
have you had any of the variations before?
They went harder and did the Iron Brew Extra.
That is a nice beverage, that is.
I think, God, was that maybe like an 8% sour at that point? Well, it was a expensive tin. Hence why I only bought one and it was never reviewed on the channel. But it smells of Iron Brew, like the correct spelling of Iron Brew, as
Iron Brew.
Yes, the knockoff you would buy from Lidl's, which was close enough and like a fraction of the price of the original stuff.
Good enough for me.
Yeah. It smells like it's went flat, but that's fine.
It smells a bit more eggy than I remember. which is a bit odd, but the nice kind of classic iron brew flavor is definitely cutting through the poultry odor that I'm getting from it.
It does, like that smell, the aroma is identical to the classic iron brewed chew.
Definitely. Oh yeah. I remember us
you get
hitting upon that review point last time.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. I get do you remember Frosties as well? Not the cereal, but the sweet, the kind of hard.
The little red, it's almost like little cola cubes.
Yeah, that I get every time we've every time we reviewed it. You know, last time and this time, exactly the same.
It's just boozy sweets.
Yeah, definitely. You want to go for the taste?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Happy third degree burns evening. You look a lot better than last time I saw you, just after the house fire. So, well done on your recovery.
We don't talk about those things. Yep. Yep.
Still
tangy, sour beer.
Still works for me. Very tart. Actually, more tart than I remember. Definitely more sour than sweet, but
I say tang.
Yeah, I'd say it's somewhere between and somewhere in the middle.
That's a good scale. But it's good. It's close. Like people will drink this and think, yeah, it does taste. This does taste like iron brew.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think that it's not like the most complex tasting beer I've ever had, or maybe even the most flavoursome sour I've ever had, but it definitely does the job. And it, exactly as you said, it's everything you expect from an iron brew flavour.
It's just kind of fizzy,
it's refreshing. If you know, kind of surprisingly, it's very nice. Proper thirst quencher.
Exactly.
It's not too far off a lager. I mean, if you kind of look at it and you know what I mean. If you were to squint your eyes a little bit, it might be off point of tenants. You never know.
Visually, if you're whatever
Under
you're watching this on
bro.
isn't quite right. Yeah, you might that might look like a traditional beer from a distance.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
a split second there,
and then you take a swig and go, "That's no red ale."
But you know what I mean. The kind of the carbonation and the body of it. It's quite similar.
Yeah,
it just has that kind of extra tang to it.
Yeah, and that's what you kind of feel like the mouth feel, like really carbonated. So it's just like fizzy on your tongue, and it's kind of warming, like it's not like a boozy alcoholic warmth, but just the fact with the carbonation, it's. Sorry, I thought I spilled some of it there.
Look, if you don't like it, just pour it down the sink, okay? You don't have to secretly pour out little droplets throughout the course of the review.
Just yawn and sit the tumbler and go, whoa, not much to say here. Still a starter of a sour beer.
Yeah.
Less
sweet than I remember, I think. I remember being a bit sweeter, but maybe it's just that's the cold talking, the block nose, possibly. But
yes, possibly.
I remember it being a bit
under
more,
the weather.
Yeah, a bit more well-rounded, but it's still very, very nice.
And let's take a moment to appreciate the can wrap.
I gotta say, are these AI generated? Because
I want to say that too. It kind of has that AI flair to it, where it's like Scottish man, iron brew, Scotland, ginger, and then this is what the internet deems. So, and I don't see an artist credited on the can. So
Scottbot 3000 says just the very bottom. I mean, this one's not too bad, but when you get to this one, it kind of gives me nightmares a little bit. It's very strange. That's not a human face. That's something otherworldly. Maybe not in this universe.
Scotland's the internet AI's interpretation of a Scottish lassie.
Okay. Okay. I think there's a bit more work to be done, to be honest. I thought this was their interpretation of a Scottish lassie. I'm a bit confused.
The Highland coup is raging in that. But
rage away, my friends. Rage
away. Tell you what's on the back of the can. Iron Brew, they are many things Scotland has given the world, but perhaps the most iconic is Iron Brew. The bold colour and unique flavour evoke a sense of national pride that's otherwise only found when talking about our tap water. It's timeless, like a pint at the airport. So here's our take on the nation's favourite soft drink, packed with pride and irony goodness in every sip.
Right. What are we moving on to, bud?
Do we go harder or do we go sweeter?
Do you reckon the sweeter we get, it's going to ruin the more subtle flavour of the fiery ginger? Do we do the fiery ginger next? I don't know.
I want to do the fiery ginger next.
You do? Okay, mate.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Aye, it's like a cold plunge. Let's just get over and done with.
This one being the strongest of the trilogy this evening at 6.4%. Yikes. Let's crack the sucker open. Have a sniff. God, yeah. Definitely smell the ginger on that one.
Oh. Very herbal. I'm under the assumption it's the same drink, but they've chopped the ginger into it.
At the very last minute, just peeled one over the boiling pot.
A DDG, double dry ginger.
Okay. I think that's going to be the next thing to take off, man. I can see it now. It's going to be big in Scottish craft brewing in 2024, and you heard it here first, folks. We're trendsetters, if anything.
Yep. Next thing you know, they're going to be chucking turmeric in our beer.
That's a step too far, if you ask me.
You pouring?
If you want me to.
For the ASMR
I'm just looking at yours to see how to do it. It's going to be a tricky one.
So let me pour a little more of the OG in this one.
Nice.
I want to do a little color comparison. So this is the original Iron Brew. This is the fiery ginger. It's identical.
Yeah, about the same for me too. You can't really see it in that glass, but yeah, very similar.
Yeah, some nice level carbonation going on. Still lively and bubbly. Still this lovely orange hue.
Again, yeah, very, very lagery look to it.
You're just wishing.
Just hoping and praying for tenants again.
Right, this is just a nice traditional beer. Nice traditional beer. What the fuck's he sent me now?
What the fuck has he forced me into buying now?
Yes. It's already shipped. Here's the PayPal.
You bastard. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Ooh. Oh,
I don't know whether you can tell the difference in ABV, but I can't quite. I'm just getting more of the same, but with that extra
heat
ginger punch. Yeah, that heat from the ginger.
That's definitely got a far more bolder taste to it.
Yeah, strangely not a huge fan of ginger, but I think it works in this context. It's very nice. It blends very well together.
The description of fiery ginger is actually on the money. That's exactly what I feel like is going on in my mouth. Is just this fiery ginger kind of aftertaste. Well, even when you take a gulp, it's just like not like your mouth's on fire, but you can feel the heat in the drink, as if it was like, God, one of those awful fierce beers with habanero, chili, peppers in them.
Yeah, that's a pass for me, to be honest, buddy. Yeah. I think this kind of naturally maybe has a bit more flavor, just because that ginger flavor is so pronounced, whereas the Iron Brew flavor is a bit more subtle. But it lingers for sure. I can still taste it in my mouth now. It doesn't, because of that, it doesn't taste as sour to me. Yeah, I think the original's got more of a sour kick to it.
This is the kind of the heat that has behind it is overtaken every like the sour, like the tangy tart's gone. It's just the warmth of the ginger and just kind of like the hot mouthfeel that you're left with after it, where it's like the aftertaste and like instantly like, oh, okay, that's indigestion. But I have had Mexican tonight, so that's maybe just fuel to the fire.
Bad choice, buddy. Bad choice.
So it's good that we have the ice cream ready to.
Yes. Ready to cool you off, man.
This is definitely something I would try half a pint of, like a fierce, like the wee Vault in Edinburgh, where they have all the Vault City beers on tap. I would go in blind. I would try half a pint of this, and I would probably leave it there. Like I would drink it and go, okay, that's what fiery ginger Iron Brew tastes like. Fair enough. Lesson learned. Moving on.
I think I agree, to be honest, man. I don't think it's going to be something that I would return to in the future as an enjoyable beverage or a beverage that I enjoy, but it's not going down as kind of bad with me as I thought it was going to be. It genuinely, because it still has that exact same DNA as the original Iron Brew, which is with that kind of added kick. It's tolerable. If anything, it just works really well together. So I'm quite surprised that I'm reacting to it the way that I am. It ain't smooth for sure, but it's an enjoyable beverage.
Yeah, it's loud, fiery. The ginger, it's not overwhelming. It's probably like the perfect amount. Maybe for someone like me, it could have done with less. But I think they've like set out what they've set out for. They've gotten perfectly.
I agree. Yeah, 100%, mate. They haven't compromised on any of the flavor to add that extra element.
And again, another really cool
good-looking gal
of our Highland Coup, and then this fiery ginger fellow with fists ready to I don't know, punch the Highland cow.
Yeah, is that the plan of attack or?
So I'm not sure why AI David Tennant is wanting to deck this cow, but yeah,
it's interesting. I'm probably going to wake up tonight screaming with that image in my mind, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I think it's cool anyway. It's unique. I'll give it points for that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you about the back of the tin.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, go for it, man.
Fiery ginger Iron Brew. There are plenty of fiery gingers in our great nation, but none quite like this. Sure, we're quick to turn a little red in an argument or in the sun, but we cool off quick just like the fire in this refreshing Iron Brew beer, a subtle spice.
Subtle. Nothing something about that.
A subtle spice among a not so subtle Scottish flavour. Now, go on, crack the can, and grab the coo by its flaming horns.
Do I have to? It sounds a bit hot. Oh, yeah, it's an interesting experiment, and I rate them for doing something different. But I don't know whether I'd return to it in the future.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, they are actually staying on brand because Iron Brew did release a fiery version of the stand, like of Iron Brew beer, not fucking Iron Brew beer, of just
Standard Iron Brew
juice. Yeah. It was straight. It was just drinking it, but feeling like someone had like just put a teaspoon of pepper in your juice, and you're drinking it like. But there were some people loved it. It was like that was theirs, and because I think it's almost like not seasonal, but like every 4 or 5 years it appears, and some people are buying cases of it.
Okay. Last but not least, Iron Brew Vault.
Let's crack open the last ginger.
Okay.
So I'm expecting overwhelming amounts of vanilla.
Maybe not as vanilla-y as you thought, or would like to think.
Like a sugary sweet Iron Brew with I'm just assuming like vanilla ice cream.
I'm just getting a similar smell to the standard version.
You're right.
Let's go for the pour. See if I can get a bit more smell out of it that way. What do you think?
Yeah, it's as if it just opened like another tin of Iron Brew.
Interesting.
Yeah, now I'm hoping to get some. Okay, I'll overestimate by saying I want some loud flavors, but the fact that there's no smell there, nothing new from what we've had already.
It's interesting. This one's 5.5 compared to the standard version, which comes in at 4.8. So maybe that'll play a factor.
Yeah.
Cheers, bud.
A Holden's glass.
Yes, it is. See me holding this Holden's glass.
And I regret saying that now.
Just enjoy yourself. Stand back in awe. Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
It's a bit disappointing to be honest.
It's too close to the original.
It is. I was expecting a lot more flavor, like you said, ice cream, vanilla, something, maybe a bit more of a milkier element, but
yeah,
I'm not really getting. I've got the original here on standby to compare.
It's just slightly boozier, but
I think it's got less harshness to it. Somehow less sour, more alcoholic, but less sour. It's actually it's actually a lot smoother.
Right, okay, right, it makes sense. It has lactose in it. So yeah, lactose, milk, vanilla.
Not really getting any of that. If I'm being honest,
yeah,
it's it's still a good brew. It just seems like a slightly boozier version of the original, smoother, boozier version of the original. It's a bit disappointing because of obviously how different the fiery ginger was.
Yeah.
I was thinking we were going to have the same situation here, but it's very, very similar.
Yeah, it's not off-putting, but I honestly was expecting them just to kind of just like punch us with like some sort of vanilla extract. It's like, there's the ice cream, like on top of your baseline Iron Brew Sour. But God, they're almost not identical, but I'm glad there's no fire now.
No, it's a nice, very nice, well, very refreshing after having the ginger, which had quite a dry flavor to it. This is very refreshing because I think because the milk, the more lactose, the lactose element to it is definitely give it a bit more of a smoother flavor after the harshness of the fiery ginger. I'd probably get on better with this if I was going to pick one.
Is it just because it's a little bit more boozier?
Possibly, but I can't really massively sense the difference in ABV.
Yeah. I mean, it is less than sort of 1%. It's like 0.7 maybe. But
I'm just getting more smoother, more kind of smooth vibe to it. Maybe like slightly sweeter, but nothing substantial. Interesting. I think I'd take that over the original if I had to pick one.
Right. So if you were up in Scotland for Burns night and you're sitting down to your haggis, neeps and tatties and you thought, right, I need to pick one Iron Brew beer to bring with me, you would float on by with this one.
I think that would be the one, man. Yeah, I think that would be the one. It's just yeah, it's just maybe just because it's easier drinking. For a sour, it's not as sour as the other one. But yeah, I think this will be my pick. What about you?
This would be my pick if I was gonna grab a tin of beer for Burns night.
And I think I would go with the float myself. Slightly underwhelming. Could have had a bit more flavor, but bit smoother, bit sweeter than the standard version, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Fair dues. So
right, okay.
I think that's us.
That's us. I'm off to celebrate Mr. Burns night. Just to see how the nuclear power plant is getting on. Maybe get shot. Have a go at Smithers. The usual festivities.
Yes.
So I'm going to head off and do that. What about you? How are you spending yours?
Don't know. I'll probably don the kilt and sit and watch an episode of Still Game or Tune the Fat.
Okay. That sounds like a beautiful evening, buddy.
Me and Rab the Slab.
There he there he is. He's very, very animated, isn't he? That guy. Full of life. Yeah. You just can't stop him.
Hopefully you've stuck around to the end of this video. If you have, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
I've been Stu. That's been Tom and Rab the Slab.
Happy Burns night. But sometimes I don't have them. I tend to normally have a beard. So, but if I do, I cut to about there normally, and then on this side about there.
We're not talking about carpet burn, you fanny.
Proper lamb chop.